the truth is like artistry. You can learn theory, you can learn skill, but you cannot learn feeling. You can only know feeling. So whenever you just
like
actually, yeah, it's true. It's like when you can learn feelings, but it's not, you can learn feelings, but isn't until you actually know feelings that is valid per se, right?
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Inner Sleeve presented by SoundMojo. I'm Cassius Morris. Joe Pacheco on the line with me. How's it going, Joe?
Not bad, my man. How are you doing?
Can't complain. You know what? It's been an interesting week in music. There's been a lot of highs, a lot of lows. We're going to jump into all of this in a second. But first, wanted to let you guys know that today's guest on the podcast is the very talented Keithian. Keithian is an artist, singer, songwriter, awesome Instagram and sort of social media. The way he utilizes his pages is really, really cool to be interactive as well. And he's from New Orleans, and this is an artist who has a lot of creative inspiration to draw from. He actually grew up alongside Frank Ocean in New Orleans, which I thought was really interesting. He talks about his experience in the songwriting business and different aspects of really, all aspects of the music business, right, Joe?
Yeah. He's been signed. He's now independent. He's like, as I mentioned also at one point, what I really liked about it is like all the jazziness, the R&B, and like a lot of interesting chord work and harmonies that he used. It's a great interview, man. He's like a funny guy. Funny dude, to chat with.
Awesome chatting with him, and we're going to jump into that in just a moment. Now, quick heads up to everybody on our YouTube page. We have a bonus episode out right now, a little bit of an Easter egg, and this is a collab with the good fellas over at DBTH Radio. Shout out to Muck and Dre the Music Man, and we tackled part 1 of the new Kanye West Netflix documentary called Jeen-Yuhs. And this was a really cool episode. There's 3 parts of it. We're going to be covering all 3 parts. But I think this was, safe to say, one of the top collabs I think we've had for SoundMojo. It was a lot of fun.
It was interesting. We put it together quickly. We're like, who can we get to talk about like Jeen-Yuhs? The document's coming out. It's coming out in 3 parts. So we basically... We watch it the day it comes out. We record the next day, and then by the magic of editing, we get it up by Saturday. Hopefully Saturday morning.
Blood, sweat, and tears over here from Joe.
And if you want, you can always go there's links below in the description where you could go and check out their podcast on Spotify, and they have a nice playlist of their favorites, Kanye and hip hop songs that go along with it. So if you're interested, definitely go hit them up and say hi.
Yeah, me and Dre, we said we're going to make a short playlist for the Jeen-Yuhs documentary, and now there's over 50 songs just from the 2 of us. So there you go. That's our short playlist. So you're definitely not lacking in music, and definitely make sure to check out our playlist also on our YouTube page of our music videos. We have music videos coming out all the time from artists, exclusive SoundMojo releases. Nothing's changed. We have all these music videos still coming out, so make sure to go check it out and click that subscribe button as well on our channel. We got to jump over to a bit of a sad story, unfortunately, here, Joe. So now jumping into a bit of sad news. This comes out of the UK. Jamal Edwards, one of the biggest forces in music out of the UK, has passed away due to a sudden illness. Jamal Edwards, if you don't know, definitely a name that people who are really, really, into the behind the scenes, the back end of music would probably know, but a lot of, everyday consumers may not know. He helped launch the careers of artists such as Ed Sheeran, Jessie Jane, Rita Ora, Skepta. This was the guy who really helped to launch a lot of different music. His mother also, she was tied into television. Am I right with that?
Yeah. So his mom was a panelist on a British TV talk show, which, as sad as this news is, and it's extremely sad. I mean, anybody who passes away, but at such a young age, but like even... the first thing that came to mind is how could you go to work and talk like the next day or something like this and give this news, man? That's
unthinkable, man. It's
wow.
I don't know how people do it. I mean, the only way I could picture it is seeing like, Bam Margera when he was on live news, I mean, crying his eyes out over Ryan Dunn. I mean, that makes sense, but to see people being composed, I commend them. It's a really challenging thing and also odd that, I mean, it's sudden illness, he was a really young man, 31 years old. Was it specified what illness it was?
No, it doesn't say anything about that. Just like it says sudden illness. And to be honest, like you said in the beginning, for those who don't know, I'm embarrassed to say I've never heard of this gentleman, and before, and obviously I've heard of the work he's done, that's for sure. But like I've never really, I didn't know of him, so it's extremely sad.
It's incredible how many people are such big influences behind the scenes, but maybe most people may not know their names, but they're responsible for some of their favorite projects potentially that are out there in the music market. So definitely everybody here at SoundMojo, WatchMojo, we definitely we send all of our condolences and our best to the Edwards family, and rest in peace to Jamal. There was definitely a lot of outcry from different various celebrities, everyone from Drake to Rita Ora, showed their support and put up posts of love for him. So definitely will be well remembered and well missed. For anybody who's been paying attention to the world of hip hop, there's probably one name that you've seen come up or heard over and over again in the last couple of months, and that name is Yeat. Now, the rapper is taking over the game apparently with his unique style. He has an untraditional rhyming style as reported by Hip Hop DX here. So this was the scene in downtown LA when Yeat came for, I guess, a random concert. We got choppers in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so what's the big commotion?
Causing quite a stir. I guess he maybe showed up unexpectedly. 1,000 people strong at the Roxy. I mean, I don't think the Roxy, what is it, hold 300 people?
I guess so, yeah. So right there we have an issue.
Right. So maybe that's what ended up happening. No, I mean, listen, this guy's taken the rap game by storm. Now, have you heard his music at all, Joe?
Nope. Haven't heard. I've seen the name, but like I have no clue.
I gotta be honest, I have not heard any of his music. What I think might be a good idea to do is to maybe check out some of his music. Maybe we could react to it right here on the show.
Man, let's go for it. Oh, we just happened to have it right
now. We just happened to have it there. We didn't expect this at all.
No, this was not planned at all. All right. So we haven't seen this at all. To be honest,
we haven't seen it though.
We just got the link and we're just going to press play and we're probably going to get copyright claimed. So let's try it.
Rex came in, I was still in the talker. Rex came in, they could fit in this talker. Rex came in, but I'm still in this talker. Yeah, 7 mil on the table, and I'm still saying talker. Yeah. Look crank, look crank, look crank. Look crank, look crank, look crank. Look wonky, I boot it up. Yeah, that purple nigga talking, I boot it up. I'm on the side of the Benny and smack though. Keep it talking about it like that. Bitch, like she love me.
If I may, I'll just stop her here. Just like, obviously it was all shot on a nice iPhone, which is pretty cool, right? Like we have this crazy quality these days.
That's the most impressive thing to me.
Yeah, I was going to say similar because like I don't understand a word he said. That's just like my bias. I don't follow this genre of music and stuff, but I mean, I like the beat. That's for sure. Like trap beat and stuff. What are your thoughts?
I think in the right circumstances, it could be cool. Like,
in a club or like in a venue or something?
Yeah, totally. I think that there's a time and a place for most types of music. Like it's sort of in a way similar to Playboi Carti with more of a deeper delivery, a harder delivery, less auto-tune focused. And that music, when I first heard it, I just didn't like it at all. I didn't know what to think or make of it. But I think if you give it a chance a couple times and you're in the right mood, it could be all right. But at the end of the day, too, I always applaud anybody who is going out there and making a name for themselves. He's just recently had, I think we just saw endorsements from Drake, from The Weeknd. I mean, these are some pretty big names.
Yeah, when I listen to this genre of stuff, like it's hard for me to know who this guy is as opposed to someone else, the signature, right? Because it's all affected. There's so much effects on the sound with the auto-tune and stuff. I mean, the auto-tune at this point, and it's been a long time now, has really been like an instrument instead of just like what its intention. First use was like to correct and to adjust pitch in the studio and stuff. But I mean, Cher changed the whole game with that thing, and then everybody else took it and ran with it. I don't have an issue anymore with it. Like it's so used. It's like a guitar, not a guitar, but like it's an instrument on its own at this point.
It's been phased in.
That's it. Especially how all these artists are using it, right? But it's a lot of people don't like it, man. I mean, we have some rap on SoundMojo that has some the autotune, and the first comments you get is people hate it. People hate it. So
especially coming from other genres, and I mean, I found that.
Oh, for sure.
I used to listen to just rock pretty much. And when I started hearing some of the different stuff, like I said, it was just a complete shock, and it didn't hit the ear well. And some people adapt to it, so others don't. But, I think...
I like the instrumental parts of it. Like I said, the beat, the instrumentation, like the trap, it's very spooky and heavy, like that's why I knew right away this in a club is it's huge because of the sub and and you're going to feel it.
And in the mosh pit.
Yeah, that's it, but it's what it is. Like there's all kinds of music and stuff. It's not for everybody. It's not, a lot of people are obviously into this, but for myself, it's not something I would probably listen to, more than a few times. Like when you mentioned The Weeknd, obviously The Weeknd, if it gives this guy props and Drake and all that stuff, but The Weeknd, for me, I see him more almost as a Michael Jackson, that type of vocal, and those songs are just, how many songs does this guy have that are just so
dozens
printed in your brain at this point, they're just like anthems, right?
That's the thing. If you're getting their attention, you got to be doing something pretty good.
It's the same thing for me. Like if I listen to death metal screaming vocals,
right?
Like I never got into death metal for that reason. Like hardcore, like I can get like Gojira or some screaming like Deftones, where it's melodic screaming or screaming, even like a band we've had on the show, right? The Montreal band Fane. Where
that's it. Where he taught us how to actually scream.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of screaming and stuff, but then the chorus or something comes in where it's like a nice melody, So for me, I'm all about the melody, so I'll gravitate towards that. But I mean, it's like for me, it's the same thing. People are like, oh, it's auto tune, it sucks or whatever. But same thing with for death metal, I can't listen to too much of it for too long before I get like, what the hell's happening? I don't understand a thing.
It gets redundant at a certain point, because there's not as much variety within the style, I think, so it makes it a challenge.
Yeah, and there's like that running joke of all the death metal bands, where they don't want you to be able to read their name in
right,
when
exactly.
you see their name on their shirts or their albums, you're like, it just looks like a bunch of branches, man. I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. Those leaves that make sick music.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, a quick reminder before we jump into the episode with Keithian, that we have our merchandise on sale, the SoundMojo merch. And I got to tell you guys, I mean, most of it is printed on Champion wear, which is super, super comfortable. And the crew neck that I have is so comfortable. And
it's also American Apparel, too. That hoodie is so warm. Really thick and nice and warm. And Yvonne had picked up the cap as well. He loves it. And so, yeah, man, there's tons of stuff for you guys to choose from. V-necks, hats. We have little beanie hats as well. All that good stuff.
And you can check it out in the description. Also, make sure to follow us on social media at SoundMojo. We're doing On This Day in Music every single day. We're doing a full retrospective of everything you missed about the business. The SoundMojo YouTube page has the community tab, the polls that we put up all the time to ask what you guys want to see and hear on the show. And we're very interactive in the comments. So leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. I mean, we want to hear your reaction to the music, to the stories, to everything that we put out. So just let us know. And now we're going to jump into the podcast with Keithian, which I think was an awesome chat. And at the end, we'll be back for a couple of takeaways.
When nothing's ever guaranteed.
Of course, we're here with Keithian, the man himself, singer, songwriter. What's going on, man? First of all, I like the setup. I mean, you got the lights going there. Are you in a studio right now?
I am in my studio. Yeah, my home studio. I try to keep it a vibe here. I was just burning some Palo Santo, to keep all the spooky shit out and things like that. So yeah.
There you go. Keep a good space. And so you live between multiple different cities. Now, do you have a studio of your own in each city, or do you use different remote studios in different places?
I have a studio I'm here in LA, and I have a studio. This is my studio here. Then I have a home studio in my parents' house in Texas, Longview,
Nice.
Texas, to be exact. And then I have a like a remote place and that I share in New Orleans with some of my music homies.
That's cool. So, I mean, how is it in terms of recording at home compared to a remote place? And how long have you been doing things from home? Was that all the time?
I've been doing shit from home forever, right?
Okay.
All the time. But it is a different type of remote situation, I must say. You know, of course, I mean, we've been in this stuff since like 2020. So now everybody's used to it. It's just one of those things where you just kind of, you know, make do with what you do.
But you were ahead of the curve. So it must have been pretty easy for you to adjust.
Yeah, it really was. It actually was. It's funny because I think I got more accomplished being the first year, 2020, like than I had in 5 years, just because I was able to sit myself down. I feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of working on you and stuff, just working on you and working with you. And then like doing these virtual sessions, you know, that type of thing kind of brings out like a whole thing from just the you part, you know?
I think most musicians, it's safe to say, or studio musicians are like, well, business as usual for us. You know, we're always working in the studio or remotely. It's been a long time, right? But it forced everybody to really like, now you have no choice but to be remote. I know you did a lot of remote work for some of the new songs that you have on the EP, or I think it's singles, right?
Yeah, I got singles. Is a singles lead up to an EP, so it's an EP coming soon, bro.
That's it. Yeah. So
Green Clouds.
Green Clouds.
Now, what was the inspiration for the name of that the EP?
Well, the inspiration is kind of like it's green clouds. When you live around storms and trees and stuff like that, green clouds is like what happens before the storm hits. If you look out, you'll see like a tornado. You'll be like, what the heck's like green clouds and stuff, like a murky green cloud. And then the other thing is just like, with, that green, you know what I'm saying? You're smoking. Like
that's kind of what I was thinking, but I like that it has two meanings.
You got all the meanings that you need, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Got the family friendly and then just for the E for everybody type of rating, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I must say, yeah.
No, that's the way to do it. And I mean, so what influenced the idea to have it be an EP? And I'm sort of curious about like your thoughts on EP versus album. I mean, for you, is there a big difference there, or is it not much of a difference?
It is a big difference. I mean, I feel like basically as the time goes right now, you kind of have to stay out there as a musician. If I allow myself, I'm kind of like I'm somebody that like, I'll put some stuff out, then I'll sit back and let people enjoy it. And I want people to marinate on music. But truth is it's not like a marination process like it used to be, right? So now I just feel like EP, singles, EP, and then an album is one of those things. So why not give the people like a little bit of me at bits and pieces of time? So, you know what I'm saying? So instead of breaking it out to a full LP, which is what it like 12 to 14, some people do like 22 songs and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why not do like 6, 7 songs of what you feeling right now in that season and put it out and let the people vibe off of it? I feel like it also gives you some time to give you some creative like juices. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, Green Clouds probably wouldn't have been the same thing if I put it out like last summer or something. It wouldn't be the same title. So that's just what I'm thinking.
Living a little bit, yeah. Having the life experience.
I always find like if you drop the entire album, it's almost like people are so used to just being constantly with new content or music. If you drop an album, it's like within a week, you're like, okay, we want more, right? So it's like you want to sort of stagger.
You're not lying. It's almost kind of like just bits and pieces sprinkling here and there of life. So yeah, as an artist, it's kind of, I know it's different. These like different as in like people want to just stay in front of your face and stuff. But we gotta breathe, bro. You know.
Yeah, as artists and as the public, because, you know, there's certain artists that I see now, they're constantly releasing, and at a certain point, it almost does feel like overkill. And I understand the tactic, but it can be a lot.
Yeah, straight up. That's really the truth.
It's a challenge. And, you know, speaking of, you know, a bunch of different artists and things along those lines, I saw that you were at the Day in Vegas recently, which looked really cool. I'm curious, you know, and for people who don't know, probably one of the most cutting edge music festivals that's been happening right now. Maybe what can you tell us about that?
Dude, Day in Vegas was a marvelous. Like, I love music festivals and things like that. I haven't been to one in a long time prior to that.
Right.
Just due to, you know, our environment, the world we're living in. And whenever I got a chance, my homie is basically like, yo, let's go to it. I was like, nah. Then they were like, I thought about it. I was like, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I saw the lineup. It was like everybody I wanted to see. And it was really a good experience. Makes me feel like I'm supposed to be up there. You know what I'm saying?
That manifestation, that will help if you're in it, you know?
Right. Just the inspiration of just seeing other artists, my peers and people that I look up to at the same time. And I love their music and love their vibe. Truth is, I feel like they felt the same. You could feel their energy. It was like, wow, we missed on these moments in our lives for a year or two or whatever. So yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I indulged all the way in. I'm a music fan. I loved everything about it.
That's amazing. And Kendrick Lamar was doing a bunch of his records like fully, right?
Fully.
That must have been intense. His first show in years.
Yeah, he came out in a robe. He brought Baby Keem out. Like, it was just phenomenal. You know, just a good feeling. Everybody was excited to see what he had to bring. You know, he was definitely the highlights. He came the first night, and it was just a good way to get the weekend started.
Oh
the
man,
days
was it
in
ever?
Vegas.
I bet.
I know that they're like Day in Vegas. I'm like, that was days in Vegas.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Sounds like everybody got their money's worth.
Yeah, they did.
What's the chance you're calling me out? What's the chance I'm here coming out of your life? What's the chance you're putting me out? What's the chance I'm here? I don't love you. Don't wanna lose your love. And you don't wanna let go.
One other thing that I saw, and I was sort of curious about this, the quote, "The music industry is sadly full of BSers." I think this is a good point. I'm curious, maybe tell me more about that.
Well, emotional tweets. I see. Anyway,
factual tweet.
I think that's straight up what it is. It is music full of BSers. The truth is that, you know, you guys, myself as an artist, or the other musicians, we're in this thing to like different reasons, passion, it's hard work, there's a lot of stuff that keeps us here, you know, interest and stuff like that. You get to the business part of things, and quite frankly, they just like full of BS, because it's like, what are you trying to get out of me? You know,
right?
Like, what do I need to share? You know, so I get it. Yes, I get it. It still doesn't change the fact there's a lot of BS. It's almost like walls and doors to open through. Let's check this. Let's check that. Who's vouching for you? Who brought you to the table? I'm like, I'm the one who brought myself to the table, quite frankly, because if I never started from the very beginning, then you wouldn't even have a piece. You get what I'm saying?
Truth. I am the manager type of vibes.
Yeah. So it's just truth. And when I tweet out shit like that, little tidbits, it's definitely one of those things where it's just like blowing off steam. I need to communicate with people. People need to know how I'm feeling. It's healthy communication, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Plus, you've been through the whole major label, game a few times, right? In the past.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it feel now? Like, are you independent now? Like, how are you working?
Yeah, I'm currently independent, and it's working good. It's working in my favor. I've gotten a chance to, what's the word? Find me. like continue to keep me, opposed to being spread it thin, or just like spread it in the, what bits and pieces of who I am as an artist. So yeah.
Through the whole experience, I mean, what was one thing that you learned about the whole music business that you either wish you would have known or wish somebody would have told you at the start of your journey?
Oh, you know what? I learned that you have to stick to what you believe, like internally, intuition, innate in this intuition. It comes from God first, so people call it sometimes gut feeling. That stuff comes from the powers, wherever your powers are. The source, so no, I learned that you gotta really, really be in tune. The truth is, like, artistry, you can learn theory, you can learn skill, but you cannot learn feeling. You can only know feeling. So whenever you just yeah, it's true. It's like when you can learn feelings, but it's not, you can learn feelings, but isn't until you actually know feelings that is valid per se, right? So like knowing gets you ahead of everything else. Even if you do something silly or like something that's not in your best interest, if you kind of knew that, then at least you can cope with it and deal with it, and then
learn from it too.
Yeah, learn from it and move forward. That's where the learning part comes in. It's like after you already know it.
Sometimes
so
you
be
just have to
prepared
go
for
through
basically anything.
Yeah, man. So like me being prepared, knowing all these things would have helped, upheld a little bit better experiences. I mean, that's typical. Everybody feels that, like, if I knew what I knew, then blah, blah, blah. But the truth is that you can kind of know, but if you don't actually continue each day and keep it with you, then you lose it.
In terms of your video work, this is something that, we do our homework over here. I know that you have sort of a history in design, sort of things like that, maybe some ties with Apple back in the day.
Wow.
Curious about that.
Yeah, I don't talk about it. What are you talking about, dog?
Yeah. That's the hush hush.
It's not even hush hush. It's just like so I started music for a while, right? And as a kid, and music was great. I went to college and I was basically like, yeah, I want to do something different. Got forced kind of back into music, and was in music. Then things happened. I was like, I'm not happy, right? So I always also had a talent that people know this that know me, but I was like a filmmaker, like always been a filmmaker. So like I started putting one foot ahead and actually taking opportunities by accident, and just continued doing that at the same time. It gave me a little bit of break from music, but as being a creative, it continued to keep me creative. So yeah, I got lucky, and I just jumped into like broadcast and some journalism, but filmmaking side of things. And yeah, man, it's just a part of me, quite frankly. And I've been able to use that. I'm just a creative, dog.
That's it.
Which came first, music or filmmaking?
Music came first. It was just like, it just came out of me naturally. Nothing I could do about it. 7-year-old singing in gospel choir. You get what I mean? Like things like that.
Totally.
Things happen. Like grandfather's like, yo, you're playing instruments. What's up? Play a real instrument. That type of scenario. That just came. The filmmaking side, it was one of those things where I was exposed to it and it just felt good.
100%.
It felt good. Telling
and it's not hard to follow that once you find it, right?
Yeah. So after that, just following it and seeing what's next, actually talking to people about this, right people. I've never really exploited it, quite frankly, like one would think so, because I'm also a firm believer at the time of timing. Like there's going to be a time where you guys can be like, dang, you did that. And I'm like, yeah, I've been working on that shit for like 5 years. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. The slow burn success is always for that longevity,
Yeah. So that's just part of me being an artist / creator.
Wow. I really like that.
The fun thing is that you can do that today, right? You have full control. You can do whatever you want. The tools, technology are there. That's the beauty of all of that.
It's really the truth. Like it's literally what is it? DIY. Everything's DIY. Like if you really want to, you can shoot a film on your iPhone. You know what I mean?
Insane. Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
like artists from like 20 years ago or 30 years ago would have like, oh my God, if we had this kind of control or at our disposal. I mean, I think things would have been, anyways, we're talking about it. It's kind of moot because we're here in real time now, but it's just like, it's fun to think about.
Yeah, no, it's really serious. It's mad serious. People are mad serious about creating what they want, as you see TikTok, you know what I mean? Or et cetera, et cetera. So
everywhere. You know, something interesting about you is I know you made a move. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, from New Orleans to Louisiana originally.
Yeah, I grew up in Louisiana and Texas, East Texas, like east of Dallas. Shout out to Longview, Texas.
There you go. And so you were sort of in search of getting more in touch with your roots and your heritage. Is that right with that move?
Yeah, I feel like I've always been really in touch with that. So, yeah.
Okay. just curious, because it was mentioned sort of in some of the writings about you that was a very meaningful move, but maybe it wasn't a super thought out thing.
It actually, I don't know if it was. That might be something I don't know. Like that part, I don't know.
We're gonna teach you new things about yourself today, I guess, on the podcast.
Hey, well, you don't know yourself first, or, you know,
yeah.
You know, you learn things every day. So you tell me what's up.
Exactly.
Why didn't you explain? And if your world came down and you could leave up a mistake, why didn't you try? Why didn't you try?
You know, one thing I am curious about, obviously really exciting, the Super Bowl coming up, insanely stacked, halftime show, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Eminem. Just curious what your thoughts are on that and maybe what your dream lineup could potentially be for a Super Bowl halftime.
My dream lineup would be like Janet Jackson again, quite frankly. But
okay.
Like Revenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
part 2, she comes back to strike.
Yeah, do-over. I mean, think about it. You pull out a nipple these days, people be like, oh, duh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
She'll pull out 2 this time, and that'll be the only way to one-up herself.
Oh,
but
wow, that was great. Nice nipples. You know, whatever. But, like, not saying Janet didn't do that shit on purpose. That didn't happen. Anyway, no, I'm excited, though, to see the Dr. Dre and True Mary J. Blige. That's well-deserved. Me and the NFL have different issues. As you see, everybody has issues. I'm a Cowboys and Saints fan personally, but not really a fan of the NFL. But do enjoy like the Super Bowl and the incredible playoff games and all the activities and stuff. But to put the cherry on top is always the incredible halftime shows. And honestly, they've been consistently cool, except for a few years. But like to see this year, like the culture move past where it should be placed, and it just feels really, really exciting. And it's in LA. I'm gonna be here in Los Angeles, so hopefully I get a chance to go and like, I don't know, probably just go to some place and watch it with friends.
Do it, man. Get in.
The city's gonna be excited about it, but so yeah.
Here at WatchMojo, we're obviously known well for our top 10s, and we do, multiple lists per day. And we have a list here of the top 10 best songs of 2021. And we're curious if you might be able to guess any of the entries on the top 3.
There's this song called Go Bay by Keithian. I'm not sure.
There you go. Perfect. That was on our personal list. That would be number 1. And it can sort of double as, I think, highest charting songs, not necessarily the most enjoyable.
Yeah,
at least for me.
That's usually the case, right?
No,
right.
Isn't it The Weeknd? Oh, I'm blinded by your lies. Isn't that one of them?
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know, but like that would be one.
That was a good guess. I can reveal the top 3 though.
You can or you can't?
I can.
Okay, well, you want me to guess 3 times?
Well, if you have one more guess, let's hear it.
Okay, let's say The Weeknd is one of them, And then for some reason, I'm feeling like it's a Justin Bieber or a Megan Thee Stallion record. I'm not really sure. Oh, perhaps Cardi.
Okay.
I don't know, dog. I just listen to. I know I appreciate the billboards and who's on top and stuff like that, but I'm just like, if you go to my playlist, it might be like so totally different top 3. You know what I mean?
100%. No, same. We're in the same boat. I think I could say with Joe too.
Yeah.
So the top 3, I think, highest charting songs of 2021 were, number 3 was "Easy on Me" by Adele.
Oh wow, that's skyrocketed fast then, right?
Yeah, that was a big one for sure. Number 2, "Good
late
for You."
2021.
She just got in there.
Yeah, exactly, right. "Good for You" by Olivia Rodrigo was 2.
Oh, I could have said that one too. If you gave me like 2 more guesses, I might have guessed Olivia Rodrigo. Yeah.
We were almost there, and she had probably one of the biggest breakout years of 2021, I would say.
It's actually refreshing to see her breakout, because I was like, dude, that girl's dope. I like her little vibe and style. Is today, it's classic. At the same time, she's talented.
Yeah, 100%. And number 1, it was Montero, "Call Me by Your Name," Lil Nas X.
Oh, okay, cool. That's not a surprise as well. That's a dope record. I feel like Lil Nas X records are pretty dope.
Yeah,
He's pretty cool. You know, I think he gets a lot of heat. I mean, do you think he deserves the heat he gets, or do you think it's just sort of all in good fun and he's trying to be controversial?
Deserve heat? I think he handles it. I think the best way to answer it is that I think he does deserve it because he knows what he's doing. Like, I think he enjoys it. He's like, I know I'm controversial. I know that this is what people are communicating or talking about. I know it's going to strike a chord. So I think he's the best guy to like actually do it. And as you see, is doing it. You know what's funny though? Let us put aside like all the antics or controversy and blah, blah. The stuff that he puts out is actually pretty good. Like, you know what I mean? Like the music is just actually good. And I know that people are really awkward with his subject, but truth is, like, today is 2022. Are we really that awkward? You get what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like,
I see what you mean.
Is it really like that awkward, or is it just like a place that hasn't been able to actually say it as loud? And what he's doing is like, I mean, mad props. It's just art.
I mean, to think of what he was 3 years ago, right? 2019, he came out with Billy Ray Cyrus there.
Old Town Road.
Old Town Road. You know, and for me, I found it so refreshing because it was like a nobody that just blew up, and then look, he took, you know. And you figured he might have been a one overnight success, but look, he's not, right? He keeps pumping out and same thing with the visuals. Like, he doesn't just leave it at the music. It's the visuals are always like, wow, what is this? What am I watching? You know, like, I'm always surprised.
Yeah. It really
100%.
true. Honestly, it's entertaining. It's entertainment. And that's
what he does.
That's the first point of what we kind of do when you're in the mass appeal phase of, you know, your artistry. It's entertaining.
Pillow talk with you. I'm falling for you. Now what can I do? See, you let me have that pillow talk with you. Now I'm caught up on you. I'm lost and confused. You don't want me, so tell me where the story begins. No, and tell me where we start when we end. No. See, pillow talk.
Speaking of cool visuals, this was really interesting from you. I'd like to ask about the promotion for the Pillow Talk single. On Instagram. Now, what exactly inspired this? And maybe for people who didn't see it, what was the promotion?
So promotion was interesting because it was the beginning of the pandemic. The single had already, the single had come out a little bit prior to it. And I think everybody was sitting at home, obviously, during the pandemic. Next thing I know, a friend was telling me how she saw a few of her friends or just people wearing their pillows, and then they were placing it to my song, and they were like walking around dancing in the pillow. Then I saw Halle Berry. She wasn't doing my song though, but I saw Halle Berry wearing a pillow and a few celebrities. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. So then, like, on TikTok, all of a sudden, a few more people started wearing the pillows to my song. And I was like, if I'm sitting at home doing nothing, the least I can do is be involved. So I put on a pillow. I'm just playing. I did not do the pillow.
Okay, hold on a second.
I didn't get a chance to put on the pillow, but I did kind of jump into the challenge, and all of a sudden people started spinning TikTok, the powers of TikTok, like TikTok picked up the song and started moving more and more. And next thing you know, it's a pillow challenge. So yeah,
man,
I didn't really know, but I did know, this is what I did know. And this goes back to understanding like what happened when you're with a label or when you have a big push, is that you have to understand how to jump on what pushes your music and be open to it. Like a lot of people are too serious to be like, oh, what? I'm not going to do that. But I had a little birdie in my ear, a friend. She was basically like, yo, bro, they know you're a serious musician. Just have fun. So, so when that happened, I was like, okay, it's time to listen to somebody else. You know what I mean? So
I like that though, because it was organic also, and it was just a sort of a fun, natural thing that turned into a trend naturally.
Yeah, honestly, and it was just pillow challenge. You know, it's funny. The song blew up, and a few pillow people, not the pillow guy, but a few pillow people start sending me messages talking about, hey, you should put this pillow or give my pillow away or this. And I was like, okay, so yeah, man. We did
that sleep country bag is coming in heavy now.
Yeah. Like we did the pillow challenge and then gave the pillow away to the one that, just gave pillows away. Yeah, I gave all my pillows away, dog.
Why not, man? If somebody's buying, you're selling. Why not?
That's what's interesting with these. Like, there's no rules. It's like, we grew up on this is how you do it. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. Whereas today, everything is just the mold is broken. So it's like you can just do what you want to do, and
exactly.
or like you said, ride the wave when you know what's helping you. Just ride that wave.
That's exactly what's up. And that's what I did. I actually rode the wave. There's been moments that I didn't ride my wave. This time I was like, I'm not going anywhere without this wave, So,
and when you're ready, that's when it'll stick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're expecting, like I said, you're expecting it to happen this way, but it doesn't happen that way, right? So it's like you might almost miss an opportunity because you're expecting something completely different.
Exactly. That's real talk.
It can be a challenge, man. So the Green Clouds EP, what are you looking forward to in sort of ramping up to this EP, and when can people exactly expect it to be coming out?
I don't have a date. I'm going to surprise you guys, quite frankly.
Okay, there we go. I was wondering I was like, am I not doing good research or is there no date? I was like, something's up.
I'm going to surprise you. There's something up. I have another single coming out like in 2 weeks. And it's a different single. It's jazz. I'm a jazz musician too. I work with a jazz artist named Just King Jones. And it just kind of one of those things that just felt so good. We were like, let's put this thing out. And then shortly after that, we'll probably release my my EP, the Green Clouds, whatever. Yeah.
That's the cool thing I liked about when I heard your music is that like it sounds like what, production wise and song wise, what should be out there today. But I know the underlying chord progressions are not just, E, C, and D kind of thing. It's literally there's the jazz vibe of it. So that's what right away I was like, that's what woke me up, because I'm a huge like fusion fan, like the 70s fusion and stuff. So like when I hear those type of things, like, oh, it sounds so good,
Dope, bro. Thank you. I'm pretty lucky to have those vibes in it, naturally.
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't sound forced. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't sound forced. Like someone could listen to this in a pop context and not be like, "Oh, that's what are those weird chords?" But like, it sounds like it's purposely done. Like it's supposed to be that way. So, anyways, I appreciate that kind of stuff because I know there's a little bit more thought than just taking a loop, dropping it in your sequencer, and then writing a song around it.
Straight up, it really is. Sometimes you never know. Like some of the songs come to me from like different chords or just chord progressions or like playing it on a guitar and or some keys and things. I feel like the saxophone. I play the saxophone, so the saxophone feels like a voice of its own. So it's interesting. Sometimes I can play the sax and get like different stuff that I wouldn't normally do if I'm singing because you're trying to do other tricks. And then I'll go back and I'll listen to it. And I'm like, oh, that sax said this. You know what I mean?
Right. Translate it.
Yeah. So it's a different way of kind of looking at it as a musician.
Have you played like the sax, guitar, and piano? I know, but like you've been playing since what age?
I've been playing the saxophone the longest, and I first picked up the saxophone. I think I was 11. Yeah, 11. Yeah, I was 11, and I
Why
learned
the
the sax.
sax? Like why the sax? Why the sax? Usually people's like guitar or bass or drums.
I was just given the saxophone. My grandpa was like, "Here, try this one."
Oh, that's cool.
There you go. Because he had a big past with all that music, right?
Yeah, and I had listened to it. Like I knew the sax. Truth is I feel like the sax. I gravitated towards the saxophone, and I actually played the tenor sax first, so it was bigger than me.
Yeah.
So I just gravitated towards. I just remember listening to like just Miles Davis and just some greats, Kenny G or Rick,
of course,
Remington, like just
Coltrane.
people. Yeah, Coltrane and stuff like that. And then I don't know, it was around. I was Louisiana. And
that's it.
So
it's a melting pot of like so many like cool instruments and sounds, right? Like
just generally great taste over there. Food, music, culture, just like incredible taste.
Honestly, like real, like this just a lot of taste.
And one of my other favorite singers out there, Frank Ocean, I believe, from there, correct?
Frank Ocean, yeah, Frank Ocean. When knowing him, I actually know him. So,
oh wow,
yeah, he used to play basketball at the park. We used to all play basketball, and his name is Lonnie. Like I didn't know
kidding.
Frank Ocean, but we just knew him then that way. So yeah.
It must have been wild watching, because he's become like an enigmatic figure almost in the game in a strange sense.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't at the time. I don't think we knew that though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're talking about just kids in the park playing. It's not like you like even myself. I wasn't walking around like yo, bro. I'm a sax player. What up? Right. Like, let's play ball, man. Let's play ball. Right. Let's play basketball here. So
and then everybody works on their little thing when they go back home.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Wait, hold on.
No, dude, it's and I'm honestly like, I'm surprised every day, not every day, but literally every few weeks, let's say weeks or maybe a month or so, of just other musicians. I'd be like, whoa, this dude, I remember this dude, or I remember, oh girl, or like just certain type of things. I was looking at true story, just funny, and all this stuff. True story, obviously, but true funny story is there's this artist named Child, and I can't, Chiild or whatever. It's like okay. 2I. Anyway, he's out of Canada. Love his music. Been following it like since the first I heard it. Listened to a song. Listened to a record. It was like my record of the summer when it came out. I think it was about 2019 or something like that. And then looked at the artist just most recently, watching it on a music video because it's featuring the artist, and I was like, oh my god, that's so and so. I can't believe I can't believe I've been just
under a different name.
Yeah, just under a different name, and I was like, oh my god. So it's trippy.
Wow. Sounds like there's like some crazy talent in that area, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, some of the greatest. Man, this has been really, really cool, Keithian. I really appreciate you taking the time, dude. It's honestly been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you guys, man, so much. Mojo, Cassius,
Yes, sir.
Really good chatting with you guys. Definitely.
Appreciate you, man. And everybody can check all your links in the description below in the audio and video. So make sure to go follow Keithian on all these platforms and on Spotify, of course.
Yeah, man. And even though it's below, I'm at iKeithian, and everywhere else you can find me from that stuff. I promise.
Want to give a big shout out to Keithian for joining us on the show, and that was an awesome chat. A really interesting guy. He seems to have it mapped out in just a different way. It seems like from the writing to the back end stuff to the singing, he seems to have really just found his niche in every way possible in the business.
Yeah, he seems also very chill, relaxed, not too stressed out. Like just taking it day by day. I guess that experience of having done it for so long. He's been playing since he was what did he say he started on trombone, or was it? No, saxophone.
He was around 7, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, so he's been around, he's been in and around the music game for a long time, and you can hear it, like I was saying before about the chord progressions, those the blues and jazz, Louisiana, New Orleans influences are in there, and definitely it sounds like today's music as well. Obviously, it's like freshly produced and sounds really good.
It's crazy how many artists came from New Orleans. Like, it's not really the first place people think of when it comes to music, but there's a lot of pretty good artists from there.
Is it that crazy when you think about it? Like, right? It's just...
I guess. It's pretty called for with the amount of culture. You're right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's not that crazy, but it is crazy. I know what you mean. But like another thing was funny was when he said, like, when you brought up the tweet that the music industry is bullshit, right? He was like, oh, wow, how did you see that? Like
we do our homework.
That's it. Yeah. No, but I mean, we get his point of view. We understand there's a lot of people that will just use you or how much can I make off of you? Or what can I take from you? 15%, 20%, whatever it is, So it's like I always say, when you find a good mechanic, it's the same thing with a label, you stick with them because...
You stick with them.
Yeah, not that you stick with them. I mean, if they're doing bad to you, but you got to find... It takes a while to find that right team person and like, that you can trust each other, and grow together, hopefully.
Yeah. No doubt. And we appreciate Keithian for taking the time to share some insight with us. And we appreciate you guys for listening to this brand new episode of Innersleeve. 62 episodes in the can. This is intense. This is great. And make sure to check us out for the future episodes. We have a bunch of stuff in the can already, a bunch of stuff that's going to be really exciting, from music videos on SoundMojo to awesome guests coming on the show here to documentary and music reactions. We're really running the whole gamut. And make sure to follow us on social media as well for On This Day in Music. Every single day, we're going to take you back into a retrospective of the entire business and tell you what happened that day, from who won what award to who released their album, whatever the case may be. We got you guys covered.
To who,
birthdays, you name it, right?
Jail stories to like, I mean, it's cool. It's interesting. It's a lot of stuff that, as we go through it, we're like, because every day you could put something on the Beatles, right? We all know that, right? So it's like, but it's interesting.
Elvis.
Yeah, exactly, right? The Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, there's all but like, we're just, as we go in, we're like, oh, this is a cool little story. Oh, this, like, actually, it's interesting. One of the comments somebody wrote was, and Sinatra, big name and all that, was like, I can't believe I didn't know Sinatra, Reprise Records was started by Sinatra, or was originally owned by Sinatra. And I was like, yeah, me too. Like, until we
figured
that out, we saw that, we're like, oh wow, that's so cool, and that's why we put it in. So it's interesting. So we hope you guys like it, and let us know, like, in the comments, what you want to hear, who you want to hear, classic albums, even music oriented movies, stuff like that. We definitely want to tackle it all.
You will definitely win Music Jeopardy if you tune into all of this content, and your music knowledge will increase and go up. And of course, make sure to check out the merchandise as well. As we mentioned, the links to everything you need is in the description of this program. And we really appreciate you guys for listening. Thanks for checking in with us here on Innersleeve, and we'll catch you guys next episode.